everybody. Welcome to InThisCornerTV.com. I'm Smitty. Well, Team Pacquiao has arrived in Las Vegas. Manny preparing for his big showdown Saturday night against the hitman Ricky Hatton at the MGM Grand. We had the opportunity to chat with Manny's trainer, Freddie Roach, about this big matchup Saturday night. Coming up Saturday night from the MGM Grand, this man, Freddie Roach, takes on Floyd Mayweather Sr., scheduled for 12 rounds or less. I'm kidding. But let's get to this whole thing with you and Floyd. Now, he was laughing when he was talking about the whole situation the other day. Is there any feud with you guys or what?
You know, he talks a lot. He comes up with the poems, Coach Roach is a joke and stuff I heard in second grade. And I wish he would up his poems to a higher level. But sometimes he gets under my skin. Sometimes I'll be in a bad mood and lash back. But usually I don't care because he's harmless. He doesn't, I don't think he really means anything bad by it. But, he does definitely think he's the best trainer in the world. And he calls me garbage and so forth. And I take offense to that because I work hard at what I do. And I have the best fighter in the world, that's for sure. And we're going to show that on May 2nd.
You've also taken a lot more guys from the beginning, the embryonic stages of their career, and brought them along. And one of the marks of a great trainer, in my opinion, and I don't get excited with too many guys because I've been around Angelo Dundee and Ray Arcel and Eddie Futch and all the greats. And what those guys did was they worked with what they had in front of them. They didn't try to train all fighters the exact same way. You've taken a guy in Manny Pacquiao who was already a phenomenal athlete, quick hands, fast feet, and all that. You've definitely made him a better fighter. Is he as good as he can be?
No. One thing about Manny Pacquiao and what I love about him is that he's a multi-time world champion and he's not satisfied. Usually guys win one world title and they're satisfied and they champion, they stop learning. Manny Pacquiao wants to be better all the time. I mean, he's gotten better from the Oscar fight till now. And with the game plan we have that we structured for this fight, he's just so ready for this fight. It's almost scary. He boxed yesterday for his last day of sparring, 4 rounds. He fought perfectly. I brought Michael Moore in, my new assistant, my number one guy. A southpaw like Manny Pacquiao, they kind of think alike. So they think from the opposite side, So, but it's just, we've had a great 8 weeks. We had a great training camp, started off a little bit, rough around the edges, getting Manny used to Michael and getting him to know each other. But then one day he jumps into Michael's arms, and I said, they're starting to get along. So it was a great training camp. And then now the final days, we're just getting primed for the fight, and he's so ready. I've never seen Pacquiao better, never.
The distractions now and we were just talking with Manny about it. He's such a superstar now and an icon. Not in the Philippines, it's got to be difficult with all this stuff going on now.
The distractions, he creates a lot of them. He loves them. He's making movies. He's singing songs, making albums, getting into politics, which he really his heart's in that and wants to help his country. And he's still capable of coming through the wild card doors. As soon as he comes through the gym doors, he leaves all that behind him because he still knows what he does best, and that's box. And he wants to get better at all times, and he's perfection. I mean, he used to be me telling him what to do, but now me, him, and Michael will get in the ring and Boo Boy, and we'll discuss things, and we'll find out the most comfortable way for him because if he's not comfortable making the move, he's not going to make it. So I'll show him a move, and he'll make adjustments, and we work it out. And it's just a great relationship right now. We have trust with each other. There's no egos involved. It's just a very good relationship. And that's one thing bothers me about Floyd on the other side is that he's so hungry for attention. I think he takes away from his fighter. I do. I mean, this is the way I see it. And, I mean...
Well, you and I usually agree on most everything. And I'm going to see if you agree with this point. I don't care whether this fight goes 1 round, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever happens. I really do believe it will be a much better fight than the De La Hoya fight, just because this guy is not a deflated dead guy, even though your guy's well prepared and is. What do you think?
Yeah, Ricky Hatton's a game guy. He did that alone, and with his country behind him, he's going to try really hard. If he gets knocked out in the first round, it's going to be a hell of a round. That's for sure. I agree with you 100% because his heart's going to take him a long way. I mean, he's very resilient and he's a tough guy. I mean, he's again, I have great confidence in my fighter, of course, but nobody said it's going to be easy, and don't mistake me when I say my guy's going to knock him out. But it's going to be a tough fight till it ends, though. I know that. But
I think that's one of the things that actually bothered Ricky, because he said, I think he respects you a lot as a trainer, and he said, "Oh, I'm not going to get knocked out in 3 or 4 rounds." And I know you didn't mean that disrespecting him. You just have supreme confidence in your guy.
True. I mean, and the thing is, when I say 3 rounds, I knew that pissed Floyd off too. So, he's not the hardest guy in the world to get to. So, yeah. But I know it's a tough fight, and it's gonna be all action till the end. But again, I have great confidence in my man, and I think my man's gonna dictate most of the damage. So, I'm sure they have other plans, of course, and they think they're gonna win by knockout in 5. That's great. I mean, they should think that. I mean, if he's a world champion, if he thought any other way, I'd be ashamed of him. So, yeah, I think Ricky's a great guy. Floyd, he tells me he's the greatest trainer in the world. I'm not late for training camp. I don't miss. I think it's just what a slap in the face. You're late for a world championship training because you got to stop at Taco Bell. Bullshit, man. Come on, you grow up.
You've always been really good at telling us what's going to happen in these Pacquiao fights. One of the great things you do is, and I'm certain Michael Moore will help with this too, is design a game plan. What can we expect when the bell rings on Saturday night? Manny Pacquiao, your guy, against Ricky Hatton.
Well, there's 2 sides to that, of course, because it depends what Ricky does. Because if Ricky tries to box like Floyd is teaching him and tries to use that jab he's using, the quick jab, he'll probably last a little bit longer, I think. But I do feel once he gets hit from Manny, then he'll revert back to what he naturally does, and that's fight and come forward. When he comes forward, you're going to see Manny Pacquiao picking him apart, catching him side-to-side lateral movement, just catching him as he comes in, keeping him at our distance. And footwork is the key to this fight. Manny Pacquiao will dominate that. You're going to see Pacquiao box a perfect fight.
And win by a stoppage?
Oh, I bet the under, yes.
You took the under. But beyond this fight, and I mentioned it to Manny, I'll be spending some time in the upcoming weeks, God willing, I make it back from Kazakhstan in one piece with Pretty Boy, a guy you probably like better than the daddy, his son, Floyd Mayweather. Is that in your sights? And I know there's a guy named Marquez who's in there too.
Well, there's some names out there, but, negotiations are going to be tough because Floyd wants all the money and he thinks he's a superstar, and Manny is a superstar. So it's, I mean, they're definitely in our sights, definitely fights we want to fight. Hopefully we can negotiate the deals. Shea Mosley, Cotto, Chavez Jr. is making noise. He says he wants to fight us. If these guys can come down to a proper weight, we'll fight them. But, if it's all about negotiations, though. We're going to negotiate the weight because my guy's only really a 40-pounder. He's not a 47-pounder. And all these big guys, they're going to have to make some considerations.
You also care a lot about your guys. She showed that again in the Penalosa fight the other night. Do you have because you're so good, you were in this game as a very good fighter. There has to be a time, though. He's been fighting, 14 years now, something like that, 15, 16 years. 2-3 years left for him, you think?
Jerry Penalosa or Manny?
No, for Manny.
No. My perfect scenario, Manny Pacquiao, 2 more fights. Marquez and Floyd. What else is there to prove?
What about for Freddie Roach? You've been a hell of a trainer for a long time now. We've seen you take guys and make them much better. You're at the top of your game. What's important for you right now?
Well, I got some good prospects in the gym, and then I started training Amir Khan yesterday, and he trained today with Manny a little bit, just getting ready for his June 27th title fight coming up, and it's a big fight for Amir. Amir was brought to me after he got knocked out, and a lot of people thought he was washed up and had no chin and so forth, but he's a very talented athlete. He's a good prospect. I think we're going to change this kid and make him a world champion, and he's a very talented guy.
More importantly, too, for you personally, I saw an interview with Michael J. Fox on television the other day. He was on Larry King and talking about the Parkinson's and everything. How are you doing? How do you feel? Where are you at physically?
I'm pretty good. I was the new medications are better, of course. So I was on the new medication. It was working pretty well, but then my tremors were really not so good though, because you could see in the Oscar dressing room I was a little bit anxious and so forth also, but my tremors were pretty bad there. So the doctors put me on some new medication. It's some of the medications, the side effects are really hard. It's like it makes me drool. Makes me really tired and so forth, but it's one of those, you just got to get used to it. And I've changed medications before, so I adapt quicker to it than most people. So I'm adapting to it. I'm not quite 100% yet right now. It makes me a little tired and so forth, and I'm still drooling a little bit. But yeah, the girls thing is cute.
Well, let me tell you something. One of the things we look forward to, and I think any real boxing person does, I know I do personally, is when there's a big fight and you're involved in it, even if you're not involved in it, we enjoy sitting down and talking to the great trainer, classy guy, Freddie Roach. Best of luck on Saturday night, and we'll be chatting with you after the fight.
Great. I can't wait. We'll be in the winner's circle, guaranteed.